20 minutes. If not, we'll head out and see what else we can find. Hopefully there's some ellies around, and you never know what else. Hopefully even another leopard. So while we wait patiently for Karula to ascend the tree, we're going to go back to Commander Bond, who's with those lions.
Well, to use the ultimate cliche, when it rains, it pours. Here we have not 2, not even 3, not even 4, but indeed 5 male lions and a lioness here at Buffelshoek Dam, all 5 Birmingham Boys, and I think a Styx lioness from what we can tell, and she is probably trying to cement her bonds with these males. We saw this with the Nkuhuma Pride a little while back. Sorry, please excuse the noise of those babblers behind me. Shut up. And we saw this, like I said, with the Nkuhumas before, when they had caused that tremendous trouble, the Birmingham Boys, that killed 1 or 2 of those lionesses, in fact 3 in the end. One of them came out of the pride and tried to sort of seduce all 5 of these males in order to solidify some kind of a bond and stop the carnage that was going on. Now, the Styx Pride, as far as we know, they were the first, of course, when the Birmingham Boys came in here, the first thing they did was to kill the Styx Pride cubs. And I don't think that we up here, we definitely haven't seen them mating with the Styx Pride yet. I think they have seen them down in the south doing that, and I think that's what's going on here too. So all 5 males, and what's interesting is that there are probably 5 or 6 game drives trying to track these Birmingham males well to the south of this reserve, because they went south of there this last night. So what is very interesting is that they've done an about turn and come due north sometime during the course of the night, and here they are. We did hear them roaring briefly in the east, and they've done a big sort of patrol of their territory, and they've returned to Djuma, and how wonderful that is. So what we'll do is we'll have a little drive around once we've looked at these 2. I just want to see if they don't perhaps mate now, but then we'll drive around, we'll show you the others. I think it's really interesting as well that they are quite widely spaced apart. One is here with his consort. The other 4 are sort of fairly widely spaced on the northern side of the dam, and then Scott just came across another one sitting, ooh, a very tired boy, just sitting on the other side of the dam, on, probably about almost a kilometre away from here. So rather interesting that. Now, just before I move, before you lost us to a black screen and then you went to see Brent, which was great, and Karula, I showed you a picture on my cell phone of an unidentified male lion. Well, we have identified him, but I would be very interested to know if any of you managed to identify him. He's one who's very close to many of your hearts, and it was in fact Junior. Now, apparently he is in Mala Mala. That is a long, long way south of here, and a long way south of his natal territory. So maybe he's forging a little life of his own down there. I think he'll still be a nomad for a while, but he did seem to have a small buffalo carcass with him. So the good news is that he's okay, despite the fact that the Birmingham Boys are certainly continuing to stake out their claim here and solidify their territory. Right, let's go a little bit around the corner and see if we can't have a look at the other males. I identified them by the fact that they... Sorry about that, chaps. I identified them from that funny-looking chap with he's got those odd eyes. They're kind of Nicky says that one's higher than the other. They're definitely a little bit closer together than some, but they're also quite scarred badly underneath, and that's how I identify them. Otherwise, I think they're not that distinctive yet. They will be, of course, fairly soon after they'll gather the scars of male lion battle, and then they'll become pretty distinctive. So we'll we'll just try and drive gently through here without irritating them too much, because there is some fairly dense bush. What a wonderful way to start the morning. Careful there, Andrew. We don't want you having an injury done to you on your first day back. So here are the another two. We'll stop here for a little while. Is that right, Andrew? And I don't... Is this the fellow I was talking about with his eyes? I think the lion I'm talking about is the one that has been dubbed Scrapper by the Twitterverse, or Togolosh by a few of the others. So lovely to have these 5 males here at Chuma. We're at Buffalo's Hook Dam, so we're right on the northeastern corner. We don't know how long they'll be here for, and they are roaming very widely at the moment, so probably not around for too long, unfortunately. But we live in hope, you know. And I suspect they probably arrived here not too long before we did. They would have been moving around during the night, and now they're going to have a deep and profound sleep, because lions love to have many deep and profound sleeps during the course of the day. It's not hot yet. It's probably sitting at around 18 degrees Celsius or 81 Fahrenheit. No, it's not 81 Fahrenheit. It's about 68 Fahrenheit. And so they will move around a little bit during the course of the day, but not much. I think it's going to get a bit hotter. Oh, yeah, that's him. That's Scrapper. Look at his eyes there. He does look... I can't decide if he looks like a scrapper or if he looks like he's got makeup on. Either way, he's got a very distinctive looking face. And if he's around, you know he's one of the Birminghams. But also, interesting that none of them have got dark manes. They're all fairly blonde. I'd be very interested to know the exact genetic relationship between them all, because I think the first one we saw and the first one we opened the shot with was this chap and the guy behind him. And the chap behind him there has definitely got a fuller mane than the rest of them. And I wonder if he isn't a little bit older. Probably, in fact, I think we know that they're from the same pride, but we don't know necessarily whether they're cousins or brothers. And Donna, you're absolutely correct. You say that Scrapper, who is now sniffing the air, has got Jack Sparrow's eyes. I agree completely. I think Jack Sparrow is quite a good name for him. The Pirate of Buffalo's Hook. Sure, he has the same mannerisms as Jack Sparrow, but I suppose time will take. And an interesting one, when we're looking at the faces, and Jen, you reckon that they've got a few more scars on their faces than they did before. Jen, they may well. I'm not sure exactly what scraps they've been in, but I think there certainly was one fight, and one of them apparently got quite a nasty hit, and he was sitting around Torchwood Dam for about 3 days. There's no obvious injury on any of them, but they definitely will pick up the odd piece of scarring on their face. That'll come from run-of-the-mill scrapping over food, and also from fights with other males. But I don't think that they've been around other males for a while now. Right, so those are the last two here. We'll drive through the middle and pick up on the other And if any of you have got ideas for how we can identify them, so we've got old Jack Sparrow here with his eyes, he's pretty easy to identify. Marks that you pick up on, please let us know, and let's try and get some kind of identikit going so that we know exactly when we see them and when we don't. And I'm just looking at the sand down there. Sorry, I know this isn't particularly predator rich, but this, look at the grass coming out of the ground there. That's come as a result of the rain that we've had. And that's brand new green grass that will really excite the grazers. That's really nice to see. Alright, we don't need to do too much rangeland science while we've got lions in the offing. Right. There he is, I can see him there. I think I've got this question correct from Julia. Julia, you want to know how can they identify the female? Yes, they can. They do it from smell, I'm pretty sure. There's probably also some kind of visual cue that they understand and we don't. But absolutely, I would think you'll find that they're completely able to recognize these each other when they need to, especially the females. This chap has got a floppy ear. That's pretty easy to distinguish. Maybe he's the one who was injured slightly. Yeah, look at his eye. So this fellow here, yeah, I think this guy is the guy who was in the scrap. Yeah, his eye and his ears are very floppy. He has not enhanced his good looks. And you can see his right eye, left to you guys, of course, is... Yeah, the left-hand eye is very swollen. The left of your screen eye, his right eye. And his right ear is also very floppy. Possibly some cartilage damage there. Wow. So quite interesting. Now this is very interesting. Some information coming through here. Apparently Andrew from, not Andrew on camera, he's been in Johannesburg, but Andrew from Cheetah Plains has said that they were fighting over that female. Now that's very unusual behavior. Normally that doesn't happen. Normally the lions only fight over, they'll scrap over food, but when there's mating to be done, it's normally kind of a gentleman's agreement between the lions that the one will mate and the others will stand back. But clearly that hasn't happened here. It's really very interesting indeed. I think this coalition is a fascinating mix, and like I say, I'd really like to know the genetic relationship of these lions to each other. Yeah, so he's not in a particularly good way, this fellow. I don't think it will affect his life too much. You'll just need a bit of time to get better. But if you're a lion out here, or any kind of predator, you don't really get the luxury of taking time off. There's something very special about seeing a male lion walking through the bush. Having a little scratch on the zebra wood tree. Move around there. See where he's going. seem to pick up a stick. Well, Andrew, not a bad start to your sojourn, this work cycle. Ooh, hello. That lion is about 4 feet from us. 6 feet. And the other male is growling now. I'm just going to reverse back a bit so we can see him. And this male is marking territory, very clearly marking territory. Marvellous. He's so close to us now. I just wanted to see what the other one's growling about. There we can see him now. They're all marking territory. This is interesting. So there's... Now he's not happy. His ears have been flat back pretty much since we saw him. Here, right next to us now, we've got floppy ear. And he's smelling where his brother or cousin has marked territory. Now, Blair, I think you're pretty much up with what's going on in the politics of these lion prides, and you say that 3 brothers and 2 cousins. That would make sense, especially as 3 of them apparently... There we go. This is an astonishing picture. Andrew, watch your head. Oh no. That that very nearly landed in my face. I had to lean off to the side. Oh, look at that. This is magnificent. Now, Phil, you want to know. I'm going to get back to their relationship to each other fairly soon. Oh, you reckon that? Oh, you want to know how old they are? I think that these guys are about 3.5 years old. Maybe, no, I'm talking rubbish. I think they're about 4 years old. I think one of them might be 5. One of the bigger mane might be 5 years old. But yeah, so just coming into their own. If they were on their own, they'd be too small to be taking a territory. But as a coalition of 5, definitely large enough. The other interesting thing, we were just talking about their genetic relationship, and Blair, you said 5, at least three brothers and 2 cousins. They have been splitting into 3 and 2, quite interestingly. Well, I mean, it's difficult to split 5 down the middle any other way, but I think you'll find it's the 3 brothers and possibly the 2 cousins, unless the fight that they had was based on the fact that one of them isn't in fact a brother. I don't know. It's very interesting. But so now I don't think that floppy ear will recover. I'm pretty sure that the eye will recover, but I think if that cartilage is gone in the ear, I don't think that will recover. So we've got some good identifiers now. What a lovely place to put your head, wouldn't you say, Andrew? Right next to the bottom. Now, just to give you an idea, we were nearly hit there by the spray of that lion. I mean, I'm just going to check the side of the car. Yep, there is actually some evidence of a lion urine hitting the side of the car. Very, very pleased not to have been hit with that jet. I don't want to be part of this lion's territory. This is now, I think, going to be a lot of sleeping. Now, I said that they were probably between 4 and 5. Certainly the bigger one, I think, is probably about 5. And Mr. Moustache, you want to know how long it will take for them to get that full kind of glorious mane. They will reach a mass peak at about 8 years old. and that's when their manes will reach a kind of their fullest state. They can maintain a big full mane like that, though. Get fuller until they're about 12. They will start to lose mass, though. After about 9 or 10 years old, they'll start to get a little bit lighter and won't maintain quite the same muscle mass. But their manes will continue to develop throughout life until they really hit nutritional difficulties, and then it'll kind of disappear again. So between 8 and 10, they get their really full, beautiful manes. And that little picture of Junior that I showed you, I thought was very interesting, because the mane Junior's mane is really starting to look pretty good, and he's of course one of the offspring of those Matimba males, which are two magnificent male lions. So I'd really like to see Junior's development going forward. Right, well, as you know, those of you who have house cats, cats do a lot of nothing, and from 5 big cats doing nothing, we're going to go across to a spotted one that I don't think's doing much more.
So as you can see, Queen Karula has not moved an inch since we were last here, so I think she has had a sufficient feed that she isn't going to move at all for the next while, but we definitely will be coming through and checking on her a little bit later on the safari. And for now, I think we're going to head off. I can hear some elephants breaking branches in the distance, so maybe go see if we can find them. So really, really exciting. A flat cat's definitely better than no cat, so let's keep going, see what we can see. We know we can come back to her a bit later. Between 2 young bulls. Morning, teenagers. Yes, you're very big and scary. I'm petrified. Here we go, lifting the trunk, giving a sniff. Yes. What quite happens with teenage elephants, they're very brave till you keep still. And now he's pretending that obviously it was doing nothing to do with us. Oh, and there comes the next one in. And I think they might be in for a little treat here. Actually, looks like they might do a bit of... There we go, and the turnaround. So it's always wonderful when you get to see these young bulls play fighting. Oh yeah, the tusks clipping together.
Get fuller until they're about 12. They will start to lose mass, though. After about 9 or 10 years old, they'll start to get a little bit lighter and won't maintain quite the same muscle mass. But their manes will continue to develop throughout life until they really hit nutritional difficulties, and then it'll kind of disappear again. So between 8 and 10, they get their really full, beautiful manes. And that little picture of Junior that I showed you, I thought was very interesting, because the mane Junior's mane is really starting to look pretty good, and he's of course one of the offspring of those Matimba males, which are two magnificent male lions. So I'd really like to see Junior's development going forward. Right, well, as you know, those of you who have house cats, cats do a lot of nothing, and from 5 big cats doing